What's up, everybody? Welcome to the King Closers Formula. I am the King Closer, RJ Bates III, coming to you live on this beautiful Tuesday at 2:22 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be doing the thing that I do the best today, and we're going to be calling sellers live using PropertyLeads today. I'm excited. These are nationwide leads utilizing their new program for nationwide leads, their exclusive sale leads. Man, I'm excited for this. I'm locked and loaded. I've got 37 leads ready to go. I've already identified the first one I'm going to call. I really hope this seller picks up the phone. Her name is Kyla. If Kyla answers, I'm closing it and I'm dispoing it live. That's going to happen. I'm just going to turn around and I'm immediately going to dispo it. And it's going to be in one of the most difficult states to dispo a deal. That's my goal. So I really want Kyla to answer the phone. That being said, I don't want to take too much time. Just sitting here talking. You guys came for the action. What do you guys think about the new hoodie? The new hoodie looked good. Oh, yeah, baby. The titanium store coming soon. All right, let's do it. Kyla, you're ready to sell me your house. Someone asked me the other day, hey, RJ, what dialer should I use when I call my PPL leads? I said I call it my cell phone.
Hello?
Hi, is Kyla there?
This is she.
Hey, Kyla, this is RJ Bates. I was calling about your property there on Silver Street. Looked like you had filled out a form on my website saying that you were interested in selling that property. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. How much were you looking to get for it?
About 120.
120. All right. Well, tell me a little bit about what you got going on there.
Well, I'm trying to do this for my brother. It's actually his. I don't know a lot about it. It's 2 lots. Prime spot of town. There's 2 lots, but there's one house which is in poor condition, as I understand. I don't know a whole lot much about it.
Gotcha.
I can get you more information if you let me know what you need, but I'm gonna have to get back to you on it.
I gotcha. So I guess talk to me a little bit about the situation. You said you're handling this for your brother. What do you mean by that?
I mean, my brother can't do anything by himself. It's
Gotcha.
his property. So, yeah, it's just been sitting there, like,
Okay.
deserted for years, and we're not making money on it, and it's
just getting in worse and worse condition.
We just don't, yeah, we just want to get rid of it. Yeah.
Where did the price of 120 come from?
Just from the appraisal.
Okay. From like the county assessor or an actual?
Like the county, I believe.
I got you. Okay. So you said it's in real rough condition. Is it like?
I believe it is. I'm not sure. I mean, I believe it's like in livable condition. But it's not in good condition, and I believe it's the property that's worth that amount of money, not necessarily the house. It's the property. It's 2 lots of property.
Okay.
So
when I pull up,
whoever buys it would probably just rebuild on it, is what I would imagine would happen. Okay.
Let me pull up a different angle. So when I pull up 730 Silver Street, it tells me that it's a relatively small lot. It says it's 6,000 square feet. But you're saying there's basically two lots.
There's two lots though.
So is it a different
that's
address for the other one?
No, the other one is there. The other one is right behind it.
Behind it. Okay.
Yeah. But there's not a house on that lot. It like burned down a long time ago or something.
Bear with me. I'm looking at, I'm trying to get a good picture of it on.
I don't know what the address of the other lot is, but it's like they're basically connected.
All right. So the thing that's kind of, and I'm not saying that 120 is not a number because I don't really know the condition yet, but the thing that's tricky about like tax assessed value, they don't really take into consideration the condition of the property, right? They're kind of just saying this is what properties go for in the area. Drive by, they don't know.
It's just more the property than the house. I think that's just the property worth, not the house.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Because like inside of a half mile, it looks like the properties of similar size are going for like 225. So I'm gonna look those up and see what the condition of those look like.
225.
Yeah, but I think these are like the remodeled ones. So basically, what I would
that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
What I would want to resell it for.
Oh my gosh, can I call you right back, or can you call me back in a few minutes? I have to take a call.
Sure. Like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
I want that asking price to be better. We have a 240 comp. I am not seeing what she's saying in regards to the two lots. Like at all.
What's up, man?
What's up, dude? I am currently live on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Let me jump on.
So I got a property in Rapid City. Is that in your family's neck of the woods?
Hey, that's where Scarlett's deal, so send it over.
Okay. I'm gonna text you real quick so you can look at this.
Okay. It all depends on where at in Rapid.
I just text you the address.
Let me pull it up here.
So I spoke this one into existence. I said, I'm going to call this lead first. I'm going to get it under contract, and then I'm going to dispo it all live. So
you want me to jump on with you real quick?
I mean, you can if you want. So the seller is asking 120. She had to hop off. She had to take a call.
Okay. So
we
hold on here. So this is kind of the Rapid City ghetto is kind of this area. Let me see something. Animals. Okay. I might be able to get this done for you.
Okay, so here's the situation that what she just explained. She said that this comes with an extra lot.
Okay.
I don't know where that extra lot exists.
Here, I'll find that lot for you right now. Okay, give me 2 seconds.
because we're that corner property. She says it's behind. I mean, and she said the house back there burned down or something. Well, according to Street View in 2021, there's like a manufactured home, or actually a pretty decent looking manufactured home behind there. And then there's our backyard.
So let me tell you to see if she has an additional lot back here. So she owns 730 Silver Street.
Yep.
And then 3025 Jolly Lane. I can probably get this done for you. As I jump off the phone, I can make a quick call.
So she had to get off the phone. She needed 10 minutes. Me and you have been on for 3. So
okay,
that gives you time.
Can I call you right back?
Yep.
All right, let me call you right back.
Bye-bye. Action packed. 11 and a half minutes, baby. It's a whole way to start, except for the fact that I don't know what to do now. How you guys doing today? That's a hell of a start, right? Good way to kick this off. Property leads coming in. First dial could be a deal. All I'm gonna say is, so for those of you that don't know, that was Danny Herman from TU. So he's actually, his family's from South Dakota. And when I found that out, I was like, man, that is crazy, because dispoing deals in South Dakota is always so difficult. And so having someone like Danny in your back pocket, like we all do at TU, is just awesome. And what he was talking about when I said South Dakota there at the beginning, he said that's where Rapid City is, where Scarlett's deal is. So Scarlett came in to TU about a month ago. And the other day she said, I'm in a situation where I've got a seller that's ready to sign a contract, but he's elderly and he doesn't have email to get a signed contract or to receive the contract. What do I do? And I said, where's it located? She said, South Dakota. And I just laughed and I said, that's great. Because we're just going to call Danny, and Danny's going to get his family will get it handled for you. And she kind of had this look on her face. And I was like, listen, you were going to JV with Danny anyways. And she goes, well, why would I JV with Danny? Because she was thinking to herself, like, why wouldn't I just dispo this myself? And I said, listen, if I got a deal in South Dakota right now, I'm JVing that deal with Danny. And sure enough, here I am. Good news, baby. Yeah. Tell me, Danny. I just hope the only thing that I'm worried about is that she's going to say, well, I can't make a decision without talking to the family or the brother. I didn't quite understand her explanation. Did anybody make out what her explanation was in regards to the brother? There we go. What's up, dude? You there? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So if you can give me some more information on kind of what's needed in terms of the rehab itself, I may have missed that earlier.
Yeah. So what she said is it's in livable condition, but it has been vacant for years. And it's just been, she said it's her brother's house and he's not doing anything with it. And so she's like, her her brother can't do nothing on his own, is what someone in the chat said, because I didn't understand what she said. Another person said it did sound like he might be disabled, but I'm thinking probably something along the lines of full cosmetic updates.
Okay. Yeah, I know as close to 100 as possible, probably.
Okay.
But I can get this done ASAP.
So how do we want to do that? Because you said the title company in Rapid City will not do assignments.
Correct. So you have to trust me on this one. And I'll message you the details, or we can go about it. You lock it up. We can do some sort of amendment or something.
Right.
And figure that out after the fact. But I'm pretty confident this can sell in a couple hours here.
So I'm thinking, for the sake of me getting it under contract, unless it's one of those situations where she wants us to go meet her in person, that I just get it under contract and then we just do a name change addendum, and then she can pay us when we do the name change.
Yep. No, that's perfect, because that's what I'm doing on the other deal.
Yeah. Okay. Then let me call her back and see if I can get it. So as close to 100 as possible.
Yeah.
What do you think we could sell it for? Like 110?
Yeah, 110, 115-ish.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let me give her a shout back.
Perfect. I'm watching you, so.
All right. Bye. All right. So I called her at 2:24. We hung up basically at 2:29. It's 2:39. She said 10 minutes. Give her a shot.
Hi, you've reached Kyla. Please leave a message.
Oh, Kyla. All right. Let's do a little bit more research. She said tax assessed value. That's how she came up with this price. So we've got to be able to come up with that, overcome that. Although 2024 tax assessment was $95,000. I don't see anything that says 120. It says tax assessed value is 95,000. And I still don't see where this additional lot comes into play. All right. We're going to come back to that. Hi, is Petey there?
It's Petey speaking.
Petey, I'm sorry about that. Petey, this is RJ Bates. I was calling about your property there on Gore Road. Looked like you filled out some information on my website about selling that property. Is that correct?
It is.
Awesome. How much were you looking to get for that?
Well, yeah, somebody just gave it all for it. I'm trying to get it cash over as fast as possible.
Sorry, man, your phone kind of broke up there. You said someone offered you 150.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Just step by one of the neighbors just thinking about buying the house.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to do a cash over. Like I told him, I'm trying to sell it as fast as possible.
What's got you needing to sell it so fast?
Well, I need cash. I need cash right now.
I gotcha. I mean, 150 looked like it fairly decent offer. Well, why didn't you accept it?
No. I didn't say I didn't accept it, but this is going to take time. I just talked to him. He just left, like literally.
He just left.
Literally.
I gotcha. So he's an investor or owner occupant?
No, he owns his own property next door to the property.
Oh, the neighbor. Gotcha.
Then he was telling me about the tenants they're moving, what I plan on doing and stuff. And I said, well, I'm trying to sell a property. I said, I tried to sell it twice already, but both places backed out because they wanted to get lower price. And I'm not selling it for a lower price. I know it's cash offer, but I don't play. I mean, I don't know. I know what I paid for it, and I know what I put into it. So I'm not just taking anything.
I got it. Well, I mean, I don't know anything about the property or the condition or anything like that, but I'm an investor, so obviously I would want to buy it for a discount. I mean, 150 looks like a pretty decent offer, and if he's the neighbor and he already bought the property and all that, I mean,
yeah, correct. Yes.
I mean, dude, I don't want to get in the way of that. Looks like you're in a pretty decent position. You know what I'm saying?
Nope, I appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, Petey. Well, I appreciate you, man, and best of luck with that deal.
No, thanks again.
All right, man. Bye-bye. Yeah, definitely not going to be trying to get in the middle of dispo and a deal in Vermont when the neighbor's already involved. I'm literally picking the most difficult locations right now just to see if I can do it. South Dakota and Vermont. We got Wyoming up in the house. She hasn't called me back. I don't want to do it. Even though I want to call her, I'm going to call another seller. This one is Cheyenne. You got Cheyenne on lockdown too? Danny. Brother. We locked down South Dakota and Wyoming. That'd be crazy.
I cannot right now. If you desire to leave me a message.
Hey, Virginia, this is RJ Bates. I was calling about your property there on East 2nd Avenue. Looked like you filled out a form on my website about selling that property. If you could, give me a call back at 817-915-6860. Thank you. Only Cheyenne, because we got another one in Wyoming. We got Upton. Upton and Cheyenne. I had two Wyoming leads up in here.
Four 17396 not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept.
To Verizon Wireless, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please hang up and redial the number.
It'd be nice if I dialed it correctly.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hey, Sammy, this is RJ Bates calling about your property there on Pine Street. Looked like you filled out a form on my website about selling that property. If you could, give me a call back at 817-915-6860. Thank you. Hi, is this the owner of 7890 West Ludington Drive?
Yeah.
Is this Richard?
Yeah.
Hey, Richard, this is RJ Bates. Looked like you filled out a form on my website saying that you were interested in selling that property. Is that correct? Maybe?
I mean,
All right. How much you want for it?
well,
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about what you got going on over there.
3.78. It's right there, 10, which is main drag, you know. It's commercial residential zoning. The barn needs a little bit of work. It's a building, needs a little bit of work, and then there's a 2-bedroom, 900 square foot hot, well, 900 plus addition, so I don't know, 1,100 square foot with a basement. That still needs a little bit of work too. Some drywall finishing, carpeting.
Gotcha. You living there or is it vacant now?
A couple weeks. I work out of town.
Gotcha.
In a couple weeks. I'm usually home every 2 weeks, but
You a truck driver or what do you do? Gotcha.
right now I'm doing a demo on Edison building. The Cope.
Gotcha. All right. So used to be a roller. This is a very unique property.
Yeah, it's definitely unique.
Yeah. So does the acreage just kind of run straight back?
No, it's more wide than it is deep.
Gotcha. So
I
that
wouldn't say I'm to look at the paperwork, but I want to say I'm like 380 wide.
okay. Can y'all hear him now?
So right part of the building caved in the roof, but that was before I bought it. So there's a big slab out front where that
Y'all can't hear him?
was. The other part of the building was still standing, but closed it off. It would probably you would have to look at or at least get pictures of before you could get a good understanding of what it is. You can Google map it. It's a pretty good view with the Google Maps.
Okay. Let me see something here real quick. Let me know if that just fixed it. It might have been the microphone. All right. So I don't know that I need to see too much on the property itself because it goes. Does your lot run up to the gas station? Is that kind of the lot line? And then we don't go down to where that other barn is, right? With the okay. Let's see if this works. Okay. How'd you come up with the price of 70,000?
I mean, that's a bare 70,000 is a bare minimum I need to let it go.
Yeah, I'm just curious how you came up with it.
I really, because that's just a bare, that's what I need. I have a HELOC out that's 56,000 on it. And I would have to, I would have to cover that. And then I need 13 to do what I'm going to do. So if I'm going to, I don't necessarily, I'm not in a position where I need to sell it.
Okay.
But I'm in a position where I could sell it and be satisfied. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to buy an RV.
So if I told you you could have 70,000 in the next 30 to 90 days, you would be happy with that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Because I think I can make that happen. I might have to get a little bit creative, but sounds to me like you're open to it. You just want to get your money and be done with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, if I could walk away from it and be, then I'd be okay.
Okay. All right, let's do this. I'm going to send you a contract for the 70,000, and I'm going to put on there close on or before the next 60 days.
Okay.
Is your email really pinkytoe07?
It is, yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, Richard. I thought you were fake.
Yeah, I've never been hurt on the job.
Yeah.
In 07, I dropped a pallet dropped on my foot.
Yeah.
It was actually a fire brick pallet. Those things weigh about 400 pounds. When it fell on my foot, I was wearing steel toes, and it caved in my steel toe, and it broke my pinky toe.
So you limped around like Deion Sanders?
Well, so I've been known as Pinky Toe since 07 when it happened on the job.
I love it.
You can only punch people on the job so many times. They keep calling you. You just got to deal with it.
I love it. All right. Well, Pinky Toe, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a contract for the 70,000. It's going to go to your email. It's just a simple 2-page agreement. Once you get that, let's get it signed, and we'll get this taken care of for you. Okay. All right. Appreciate you, Richard.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. I had to rapid fire close that one because Kyla called me back.
Hello?
Hey, Kyla, it's RJ.
Hey, sorry I missed your call.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. So it's actually not a bad thing that you had to let me go there for a second because it let me do some more due diligence.
Oh, okay.
And kind of look around. So I think we're relatively close on price. Well, relative in my terms.
Okay.
So I did not see anywhere the 120,000 tax assess. I don't know. I don't know if that's something that they sent you. I saw that it was like 95,000 in 2024, and that's kind of where I'm leaning. But the value that we would bring would be that it would be cash, and there's no realtor commissions, and we cover the closing costs. So that's kind of a net number to you.
95,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
unless you owe anything like back
We don't
taxes.
owe any taxes or anything.
Right.
Nope, that's all paid.
So that would be a net number to you.
Okay. What's the timeline look like on that?
What do you need it to be? Do you want it quick or do you need time?
Well, the thing is I don't know if there's people squatting in that place or not. Is what is my only deal. And I don't know if I have to get them out of there if they are in there first. That's my only deal.
Well, that's something that we can deal with if we have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're
So
gonna.
I don't have to deal with that.
Well, you might have to participate.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say we'll take on all of the liability, but we can. I mean, do you know do you know that there's someone there, or like you literally
I'm
just don't?
not sure. Like I'm not sure. So that's kind of what I have to figure out here.
It's not your brother, right?
No, it's not my brother.
Okay.
No.
I was like,
We used to rent it,
yeah.
and these people quit paying rent, and my brother did not have the initiative to do anything about it. So, yeah.
So they never got
That's
they never got evicted.
Right, and I was going to go work on that today.
So here's the deal. If that's the case, I mean, I send you the contract for the 95. Are you like, do you have power of attorney on this, or is he still the?
No, he's the owner,
So he would have to be the one that signs the contract.
and he can do that.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I mean, from my circumstance, I would obviously want to go see the property after we get a signed contract. And if there is someone in the property, then we can figure out a solution to that.
Okay.
Sometimes it's as simple as, hey, we can show you how to do an eviction and get that taken care of. Sometimes it's as simple as, hey, we'll give you $500 if you just go away to the tenant or the squatter.
Okay.
And they go away. That's called cash for keys. That's a very common occurrence.
Okay.
I mean, we buy some of the worst houses out there. So you would be surprised
Okay.
how often it's like, hey, we need you to go away. What can you do? So we can handle the eviction or
Okay,
cash for
and then
keys or something.
maybe they would go for that then.
I mean, if they have a recreational hobby problem, sometimes $500 goes a long way for that hobby. And if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean.
So sometimes we become their best friends and they're like, yeah, and they get out of there. So,
Okay.
all right, let me look this up real quick. I've got Okay. So I'll write up the contract. I'll send it to you, but I
Okay.
do need your brother to be the one that signs it.
Yeah, he can sign it. I can handle that.
Okay. Are you around him or is he virtual from you?
I'm not with him at the moment, but I could get it done when he gets off work today, I suppose.
Okay. So, because it's going to be sent in an electronic signature.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he can just sign it that way.
Okay.
Because I'll write it up in his name and everything like that. And then once you guys sign that, we'll send it off to the title company.
Do you need his name?
No, I've got it. I've pulled up tax
Ryan,
records.
okay.
Yeah, I've pulled up the tax records on it. And once we open up title, we'll want to schedule a time to get out there and see if there's people. And obviously want the property, and we'll figure all that out. Okay?
Okay.
Any questions for me?
No, that sounds good.
How quick do you want this to close? Best case scenario.
Whatever works for you guys.
Okay. I'm going to put.
I'm not in any rush or anything. I just kind of.
So what I'll put on the
here.
contract, I got you. I'll put on the contract on or before June 6th.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Appreciate you, Kyla.
And it was AJ, is that right?
RJ.
RJ, okay.
Man, I got a guy that works for me named AJ, and he's going to be so happy that you said that.
That's funny. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Two for two. All right. Well, I created a lot of chaos in the first 42 minutes. Let's see if I can get some support. While I work on that, let's get another one on the phone. Property leads coming in hot. Talked to 3 sellers, 2 contracts. What are we talking about? Y'all gonna have me ranting and raving over here. This one. Yeah. Not that one. Hello?
Hello,
Hey, is Donald there?
this is Donald.
Hey, Donald, this is RJ Bates calling about your property there on Ruby Avenue. Looked like you filled out a form on my website saying that you were looking to sell that property.
I did.
Awesome. How much were you looking to get for that?
I don't know. I was going to wonder if you probably just have to look at it and see what you think.
Okay, you didn't have a number in mind?
Not particularly. It needs remodel.
Okay. What all needs to be fixed up on it?
Make the roof. The bathrooms are redone.
Bathrooms have been or they need to be?
No, they need to be.
They need to be. So like just cosmetic and then a roof Anything else major system wise?
Well, probably, I don't know, it probably just needs a complete remodel, I would think.
Okay. Including like electricity and plumbing, or is that functional?
The electricity's fairly good. It's actually, I think it's still on. I think it's still on. Yeah, the electricity's good. The plumbing's really out of date.
Gotcha. So it needs a lot.
Yes, sir.
Is it vacant right now, or is there somebody living there?
It's vacant.
How long has that been vacant?
For about almost a year, probably.
Was it a rental property before?
No, not really. My mom lived there, and then my brother-in-law lived there for a couple of years, and he passed away.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear about that.
It's been a year ago about, so.
Yeah.
Actually, my sister and my brother-in-law lived there, and they both passed away. So.
Jeez. So
it's been a while, so anyway.
Is it like, did you inherit it, or were you the owner that entire time?
I inherited it.
Gotcha.
I inherited it through, but I've got 5 brothers and sisters, one deceased, but I had to go through and get the power of attorney, and so I have the right to sell.
Right. So you're the decision maker.
Yes.
So taking a look at like the square footage and the age of the home, I mean, based off what you're telling me, it sounds like it's going to need a lot.
Correct.
Is kind of the reason why you're reluctant to kind of name a price, because of the condition, and kind of you don't know what it's worth at this point.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm hoping around 30,000, but you know that you may say no way, or that's a good deal. I'm not a construction person. I mean, you know, it's one of them deals where you're probably going to have to put, you know, 25, 30,000 in it, like 25, 30,000, but that's still a big investment first. It depends, you know.
Right.
I'm not that person.
Understood. I was going to tell you, I am a little bit below 30,000. One of the benefits that if you were to go with us would be that the number that I tell you is a net number. There's no commissions or closing costs or anything like that. The only thing that you would pay would be whatever is owed on the property. So if there's
a note on it.
Gotcha. So this would just be a net number. But I was actually coming in around 15,000.
I think it's worth 20 because it's on a lot and a half. Like I said, there's still a good margin for profit on that. What I got to do is I don't got to sell for market value. I know that, but I have to make an attempt to get
as much as possible.
Yeah, legally I'm bound to.
I got you. Yeah. Well, I
think it's worth 20. I think you can make your money because it's big enough where, you know, that's kind of a plus and minus. Big enough where you're going to get some good money for it, but you got to put a little bit more into it. But it's pure and beam, so that makes it a lot easier for a lot of stuff. I know.
Okay, you said it's on a lot and a half. Let me look at this. So
yeah, at least maybe 2 lots. I'm not sure.
Okay, I see it now from the up above. So is that a garage off to the left right there?
Yes.
Okay. There's no addition, right? It's still 1890 square feet.
I don't know the square footage. It's at least that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably pretty close. I mean, that's probably pretty close. It's probably right there too.
So in regards to you selling the property, you have the right to sign a contract, but then do you have to present it to the court?
I do not.
Okay. All right, let me look at one more thing. And all right, if I say I do 20, do we have a deal?
Yeah, I'd say so. What I have to do is I have to put that check in a account that's set up for my dad. He's passed away, so it's with me, the executor of it. So yeah, I would do that. I'd do 20.
Okay, I have your email.
Lowercase and normal.
Okay. All right, I'll send over our agreement for the 20,000. It's just a simple 2-page contract. Once you sign that, then we'll need to go out there. We'll want to do a walkthrough of the property, inspect everything. And I'll go ahead in the meantime, open up title. And once that's clear, we'll probably get it closed in the next 3-4 weeks. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Donald. Well, I appreciate you. My name's RJ Bates, company's Titanium Investments, based out of Fort Worth, Texas here. So I'll get that sent over to you here in probably about 10-15 minutes. Okay.
Okay, you gonna put that information you just told me on the email?
Yeah. You said, do I have the information?
No, are you good? What you just told me, or you said your name was RJ Bates. You gonna put that on the information you email me?
Yeah, well, it'll be on the purchase contract, so it'll show my
Okay.
my company name as the buyer, and then you'll see my signature down at the bottom of the contract.
Alrighty, that sounds good.
All right, Donald, I appreciate you.
Okay,
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
I need help. Help! Just slinging contracts. Someone help! I want to stop. I put my my rehab at 80 on that, but I think I'm being very aggressive. So I've got an ARV of 175 on that.
I mean, I'm listening, but I'm working. So
I got you.
I
Well,
need info dump.
so the greens, I'm going to share this with you. The greens are the contracts.
What am I supposed to know?
I'm going to tell you the numbers. Does that work for you? Silver Street, 95K. Ludington, 70K. Ruby, 20.
Yeah, spreadsheet.
Yes. All of the emails are correct in there.
6.
That's what I put. So the Ludington, the one in Michigan, I told them 60 days because I think we're probably going to have to partner with somebody and do a novation on that. Boom. Listen, I've been hearing that it's difficult to close deals lately. I hate to hurt feelings. I don't think that it's difficult to close deals. It's just not. Those right there. The first one, but did you guys see what I did? I leveraged the people that I know, and I'm going to do the same thing on this one, the Ludington one with the guy with the roller rink and all that. I'm going to leverage someone inside of TU to do a novation on that, and I'm just going to pass that off. Danny's going to take care of the dispo of the South Dakota deal. He already said we can move that at 110, 115. We got it at 95. This one in Texas, this is up by Wichita Falls. We'll dispo that one ourselves. But see, it's not difficult to close cash deals. I just closed 3 of them. I'm 3 for 4. It's not difficult to close cash. What's difficult is when you convince yourself it's difficult to close. I said this to someone inside of TU earlier today. I was talking to him. I reached out to him, said, how are things going? And I told him, I said, I'm going live today, and I know that I'm going to get deals. That's the difference. I know that I'm going to get deals, and I think too often some of you are in your head saying things like that. It's difficult to close cash deals. You have convinced yourself that it is. Let's get another one. Shout out to Property Leads. Holy cow.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Please try your call. Five, four.
All right. What's next? Which one of these is my next one? Which one am I calling? Deborah. By the way, for anyone wondering, hello?
I'm here.
Oh, sorry, Deborah. I was yelling at someone in my office. I apologize about that. I was calling you about your property there on Chestnut Avenue. You look like you had filled out a form on my website saying that you're looking to sell that. Is that correct?
I'm thinking seriously about it.
I gotcha. How much were you looking to get for it?
Well, it's not paid off. So enough to take care of that and a little extra.
All right. How much is owed on it?
And it does have a little, it has a couple of, well, it has one flaw to it right now. It has a leak in its roof.
Okay.
But that leak has been there for 3 freaking years. I've been here for 3 years. And I had some guy come out and fix it, and he allegedly fixed it, and he won't come back.
That sounds like a roofer.
That was a roofer.
Yeah. So how?
He has to admit that he fucked up and didn't fix it. And it's a metal roof. Metal roofs are not supposed to leak.
That is right.
So he fucked up. Excuse my French.
Yeah, you're right.
Honey, how old am I? My husband died 3 years ago, October 5th of 23. Not even that. And so I'm here by myself. I have no family in the state of Oklahoma. They're 600 miles away. And I can't get a job. No one will hire me. I'm too old.
How old are you?
71.
You don't sound 71.
No, I don't feel it either.
Yeah.
I'm old. I tell everybody I'm old enough to know better, young enough to do it again, and hope the hell I don't get caught.
You said you're spicy.
I hear that giggle in the back. Yeah, I heard you. Snicker, snicker, snicker. Oh, God, he's got this weird woman on the phone. Yeah, oh, shit. Well, you damn straight you do.
Yeah.
I also carry a gun.
Well, you're in Oklahoma. You're supposed to, right?
Damn straight. I'm born and raised in Minnesota, where we are Minnesota nice.
That's what they say.
That's right.
We're nicer. We're nicer down here, aren't we?
Where?
Well, I'm in Texas.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
My kids are in Texas. I lived in Texas for 18 and a half years. I love Texas.
Yeah, well, Oklahoma sucks. So let me buy your house.
Oklahoma does suck.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, well, I live in a one-horse town. It has one Walmart, one McDonald's, one Burger King, one Walgreens, one CVS, one of every kind of pizza joint you can think of, and one Chinese place, one Japanese place. See where I'm going with this? It's a one-horse town. We do not have Starbucks. We do not have Chick-fil-A. We do not have White Castle or Crystals in the South.
Man.
I have to go to Lawton to do that. That's like 40 miles away to get that shit.
You ever watch the movie about going to White Castle? What was that movie called? The movie where they get super high and they got to go get White Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People go to White Castle just so they have something to throw up when they're drunk.
Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. God, I love that movie.
That's a funny movie.
It is. My God. Man, I bet you would be fun to get high with and go to White Castle.
Well, I've never been high, so that would be a real challenge. I don't know what I'd be like then.
I'm just saying, you're 71. It would be a good time.
I'm sure it would be fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like to have a good time. And I love motorcycles. I don't have one anymore, but I had one.
Oh, man. All right.
I want to buy a trike is what I want.
You want to buy a trike. All right. So how much do I need to give you for this house to pay out the mortgage and give you enough to get out of there and get a trike?
I have absolutely no idea. I also have an RV sitting in my driveway. 39-foot RV.
I don't want that. I just want.
I've got to find someone to buy that out of here too.
All right.
I have no idea what it's worth.
How much do you owe on it?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
I don't know.
All right. Well, let me tell you. You didn't think I could do that, did you?
Oh, I know you could do anything you put your mind to. Oh, shut the hell up. Damn. I'm so sick and tired of getting these things. Hey, where's the button? 580. Someone. Stop that. Shut up. Thank you. I yell at
about my phone. I'm so sick of every only thing that's on my phone now is, let's make your funeral arrangements. I'm going, yeah, what, you son of a bitch, get the fuck out my phone. That, or you're entitled to a $3,200, whatever it is, from Medicare. Yeah, right.
They cold call you and tell you make your funeral arrangements?
Yes.
Damn. That is like got to be the worst job of all time.
That's ballsy, if you ask me.
Seriously. That
And
sucks.
my husband was killed at Duncan Regional Hospital. I was the patient.
What? What do you mean?
I was the patient. I went in because I was having hallucinations. I drove in because I saw a helicopter hovering over my flat screen TV in my living room. And then when I got there, I told him that I'd also seen Bozo the Clown jump out of a tree in front of my truck that I was driving. Just an outline, but I knew it was him because of the big fuzzy hair and the big feet. So they thought I'd had a stroke. Do I sound like I'd had a stroke?
No.
I didn't think so. Well, then they decided to keep me overnight. So I said, well, I'm worried about my husband because he's very unstable. So they took my truck with the lift on the back, my Chevy Silverado quad cab with a lift on the back, to go pick up my husband 1.6 miles from the hospital, pick him up and bring him to the hospital to be with me so I would feel better. They did a CT scan on my head with no contrast. And I told them, I said, you're going to do that damn test and you're going to find nothing there. And I was joking with them. You're going to find nothing. And so then they took me to a room and they did some carotid artery thing, see if I had blood clots in my carotids. And they didn't find that. Then they decided to keep me overnight. But there's no place for my 6'6", 293-pound husband to hang out overnight. So I said, Mike, just take my bed. I'm fine. And I was going to give him my bed. And because he's been in the hospital so many years, off and on. We were married for 30 years. And so I was going to give him my bed, and they said, no, you have to sleep in that bed. I said, no, I don't. I said, you're getting paid for it. What the hell do you care who sleeps in it? I'm used to sleeping in a chair or under the bed or in the shower. I mean, I slept in the weirdest places just because he's been in the hospital, and he's a vet. But they wouldn't allow it. And so then he said, well, then screw these people, I'll go home. So they went back down to the ER where they brought him with my truck. And he said he needed to go home. And they said, well, how are you going to get there? And he said, well, I'm sure, he said, I wasn't there. I'm sure he said, well, I'm hoping you'll take me home again. And they said, well, no, we got you here. So then he said, screw you. And he took off on his four-wheeled electric scooter with headlights and taillights and a big thing on the back, big vest on the back that damn near glows in the dark when car lights hit it. It's 1:30 in the morning. He wouldn't take him home. And so they chased him around the driveway until he rolled off a curb because he's also blind in one eye. And rolled it off a curb. It tipped over, threw him off it, and hit his head on the curb.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Let's add insult to injury. They called 911 for an ambulance to bring him into the hospital. 60 feet into the hospital. I was up on the floor. I knew nothing about this. I heard about this afterwards. They did a CT scan where they gave it to him with contrast, but you'd never give a CT scan with a head injury with contrast immediately because you don't find the bleed. You add to the bleed if it's there. This I know because I'm a freaking trauma nurse. I used to fly with air care out of Minneapolis. Robins go back and forth to Brainerd and bring stupid people back doing dumb shit. And they tell me, trust me, I've seen some of the shit I've seen people bring. I've worked there. I worked at Brackenridge in Austin, the intensive care unit, and OBGYN. The only place I won't work is pediatrics. I can't do pediatrics anymore. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that my heart won't let me. My heart just bleeds for that. So I'm sick with adults. In fact, I had a patient one time, he came in, he was a sheriff and a fire marshal, and he had a head injury.
I'm in a world of hurt.
For 6 days, and he had a head injury, and nobody could get him to wake up. So they gave him to me one day, and I said, okay, I called his mom.
This might be the rest of the episode.
Love? And she said he loves his cowboy hat, his boots, and his country music. I said, bring them to me. He brought them to me. I started the music, pulled the doors shut, put the boots up by his face so he could smell them, put the hat on his chest and pulled his arms across and tucked them so that he was holding his hat, turned up the music, and started singing with the radio. 40 minutes later, he started tapping his foot on the bed. I called his mom. Dad were still they were having lunch. And I said, where are you? And she said, we're at the cafeteria. And I said, well, are you planning on stopping back? And then she said, well, we hadn't thought about it. I said, I think you should stop back. And she said, is there something wrong? And I said, oh, no, there's nothing wrong. But he would probably want to say hello by then. And she went, what? I woke him up by stepping outside of the box and doing something unusual. Blowing his head off with the music, the boots with the leather, and holding his hat. I said, you just have to find what he likes the most and why he wants to come back. And that was it. And my charge nurse just about flipped out. She said, what the hell did you do? I said, well, he's awake, isn't he? And considering the next day they were planning on shutting him off. I said, no, we're not going to do this. He was 36 years old. I said, no, we're not shutting him off. And so I thought, outside the box. I've always been a weird nurse. They've always told me that.
Those are some incredible stories, and I apologize. I got a little bit when you were telling me the story about your husband. My dad passed away from a brain trauma injury, so.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry to hear about your husband there.
And then weirder things after they did the CT, they got it. He went into cardiac arrest, but they got him back again. So then they put him up on the intensive care unit. That's another bill. But they'd also pulled his chart because he'd been in the hospital before. It says power of attorney, wife, Deborah, call her. And I was already in the hospital, so they knew I was there.
Right.
And the second page says veteran. If you don't call the VA, they will not pay your bill or anything to do with it. And so they didn't, because they didn't pay any of it. So then the third thing was, patient is Catholic. Call this man a priest. They didn't get him a priest. He never got last rites. The next morning, I went to leave to go home. Actually, I tried to go home at 3:30 in the morning, and they put a guard at my door. And, they put a guard. But then they took him and put him up in intensive care where he woke up in the middle of the night, panicked, and they let him go. Had another arrest, and they let him go.
Man, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's horrible.
And but the next day, I was getting ready to leave, 9:30. I had my one piece of cold toast and coffee, and I'm heading out the door. I said, I'm putting on my dirty clothes from yesterday. I'm out of here. And they couldn't stop me. They didn't have a diagnosis. They couldn't figure it out why I was having hallucinations. And so I went to go home, and they had somebody escort me out of. I've never been escorted out of a bar, much less out of a hospital. Jesus Christ. So then they took me down to intensive care, where I said, "Why the hell are we going here?" And he said, "Because your husband is in intensive care." That's when I found out the next morning at like 10 o'clock that he was in intensive care. Ran inside. I yelled at them. I said, "Where's Michael Truman?" They said, "Room 3." Went down there. There he was, laying on a cot. All the machines are there. Tube's still in his mouth. Because once they put a tube in, the only person that can take it out is the mortuary. Once they put it in, and you've died, they can't take it out again. And then, so they went ahead and did that. I went down there, and there he was. All the machines are still in. I said, "But nothing's on." And I said, "What the hell is this?" And they said, well, he died about 5.5 hours ago. They didn't have time to tell me that my husband was dead, but they had enough time to call a mortuary, and I was there for 10 minutes, and the mortuary came to pick him up, to take him. The problem with that was that I said, yes, you may take him to this mortuary. I didn't have any choices in the matter whatsoever. And apparently somebody told them that I had wanted a direct cremation, so they took him to Oklahoma City where they cremated him. And they did that to hide the fact that they gave us CT with contrast. And the contrast put him into a cardiac arrest. So in other words, they fucked up. And then when they brought him home, I did not order it, cremation. And since they didn't bother to call the VA and tell them that this all happened, he didn't get anything from the VA. He didn't get a flag. He didn't get any recognition whatsoever that he died, and he doesn't have his plot in a national cemetery because nobody called and told him. They didn't tell him. So, yeah, this hospital is known for killing people. Mike is now number 7. That people have gone in for extremely minor problems, or gone in for no particular reason at all, and died.
That's unreal.
And I can't find a lawyer who's got balls enough to say, let's sue this son of a bitch. And they've already been sued twice and lost both times. But there's not a lawyer here in Duncan that'll do it because they're afraid if their family member has to go to the hospital, they'll be killed too. Fucking balls. Nobody's got balls in this town anymore.
I think we need to get you out of there. What do you think?
I think I'm so pissed off. The only thing I love my house. I do. It's big enough for 2 people. That's what I wanted. When we
Deborah, hold on 1 second for me.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Hello, this is RJ. Donald, are you there? No, I lost her too. I thought that was the Texas contract. That wasn't. Spam.
Hello?
Hey, is Deborah there?
It's me. Hey,
Hey.
don't go too far. Hey, honey, I got news for you. My phone is possessed by I'm not sure what. I don't know. Maybe my house is sitting on a funeral or a mortuary or on dead people. I don't know. Because, honest to God, I get more crap on my phone. And right now, like I say, they've got all of these people running around getting people lined up for this stuff. And these ads just cut right over everything and cut everything. If I'm on the phone, it cuts you off and it takes over. Yeah, it's fun.
It's crazy. All right.
What do you need?
So I got a couple of questions about your house.
Yeah,
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. You bought this in 2020
That's right.
and you took out a mortgage for $76,000.
Yep.
Do you have a second mortgage or just that one?
I have a second on it.
So altogether, your monthly payment is hold on.
$630.12.
$630.12.
Because I don't pay the second one until the first one is done.
And does that include taxes and insurance?
Yep. I also have a woman in Tampa, Florida, who has my identity. The reason I have a second mortgage is because she has my identity and managed to get $20,000 worth of my Social Security checks before I could get my bank and the Social Security office to recognize that there was a freaking problem. I wasn't getting these checks. The bank is saying, I'm not getting your deposits. And the Social Security is saying, we're mailing it to your bank. We're sending it to your bank. But they were busy passing the blame game. And only to find out, I finally went to and printed out a year's worth of my bank statements. And I took them to my bank and showed them that I found out they got 3 of my checks that particular year deposited. And then I went to the Social Security office and I asked them, I said, can you print me off where you're sending my Social Security checks are? And they sent me off a whole year's worth of them. And it was the remaining 9 went to Tampa, Florida. Completely different bank, Chase Morgan. Under my name, with my Social Security number, the whole bit. But they're playing the blame game, and I can't get Social Security to recognize that they fucked up. and gave the Social Security, transferred it over to her. And she's got my driver's license number. She's got my Social Security number. She's taking out new loans on my name and using my daughters as references. And they live in Texas. And my one daughter is pissed as hell because she works for the sheriff down there. She's mad. But they can't do anything about this crazy bitch because nobody's got enough interest to say, we owe this other woman $20,000. And so when those payments didn't come and they were then they were supposed to be direct deposits and they were supposed to be auto pays to my mortgage company, I didn't know they weren't going. So that's why they put, instead of taking my house and putting all that money back into the mortgage that I owed it, they gave me a second mortgage because the interest on the original loan is 2.7%.
I know.
Isn't that nice?
It is. Part of me wanted it. Part of me wants that loan.
Oh, yeah. If we could find a way to transfer it over, I'd be a happy girl. I'd do it.
So there is a way to do that. We don't have to transfer it over.
Well, I don't know what you do.
The mortgage would stay in your name, but the property would go in mine and I would start making payments.
You promise?
I promise better than all the crazy shit you just told me has been going on.
You know, I've been screwed more times than I can tell you, and I never even get kissed. That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, and I'm fighting with everybody, and I'm alone doing it, fighting with these people. And I can't just move without. I have six animals, 3 dogs and 3 cats. But I can't afford this house anymore. There's a friend of mine who wants me to move to LA with him. I've known him for a while. His mom knew my mom, and so when she found out that my mom died, then she found out that I was having problems, and then she told her son, and it's like, oh shit. And then he decided, he's a widow, so he said, well, he's been keeping an eye on me for the last year, and it's like, okay, that's enough of this crap. I have this huge house. Come move in with me.
So if I said you never have to make another mortgage payment, would
I'd
you
be a happy camper.
would you just pack up and just go to LA?
Damn straight. I've already called him and told him, I said, get the truck. Let's go. What do I need to bring? And the other option would be at this point, what can I leave? Can I just have a big ass, hey, come in and take what you want sale? Because everything I have is early attic.
Is early attic? What?
Well, early attic is, well, I call it early attic. It's called, I picked it up somewhere at a garage sale. I picked it up at the most expensive thing I have are 2 flat screen TVs. I've got a 65-inch and a 55-inch flat screens. Plus my bed, I paid $700 for it. Just the frame.
Jeez.
It's a four-poster bed made solid wood. And it is taller than I am, and I'm 5'2".
You sound taller than 5'2".
Oh, that's because I'm ballsy.
Yeah.
I have a twin brother that he's just like everybody else, no balls either. I've always been the tough ass in the family. My mother said, you know, one of these days somebody's going to come back at you. And I said, I dare to. Go ahead, make my day. That was always my favorite. After that movie came out with Clint Eastwood,
Yeah.
my day. Yes.
All right. So
I would not be unhappy with it.
how long would you need to get ready to?
It's either that or I have to. There's a problem in the bedroom, so that ceiling has to be repaired. But that's it.
I'm looking at the pictures from 2020. I mean, I'm assuming you haven't messed it up too bad.
No, the only problem is that ceiling right there. Hardwood
And the second mortgage was for 11,000.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not paying on that second one until the first one's paid off, right?
That's correct.
How long would you need to get ready to go to LA?
As soon as I get a hold of my partner in crime and tell him, hey, send the truck.
Pretty quick.
I have to keep. So how soon do you want it?
I don't know. I want you to give me a couple weeks.
I can give you more than that. Because that's going to take long. I'm still getting rid of stuff. I have a brand new refrigerator in it.
All right.
Door.
So hold on. Hold on. We gotta go back. We gotta go back to the deal. The only way that I'll do this with you is the next time I go to LA.
We have
coffee. We didn't talk about coffee. We're gonna go to White Castle, and we're gonna get high as shit together, and then we're gonna eat as much White Castle as we could possibly eat.
Well, that won't be hard because I can do that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, since my husband died, I've lost almost 100 pounds.
So instead of Harold and Kumar, it's gonna be RJ and Deborah.
Yeah. Went to White Castle.
RJ and Deborah go to White Castle.
White Castle over there?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. If not, we'll find some little mini burgers to eat, and we'll pretend it's White Castle.
Someplace else to wear.
All right.
I have a grill on my back deck. It's a barrel grill.
Yeah.
I also have a electric smoker on the grill. I also have. It might be an added plus. I'm not sure if I'm taking this with me yet. A John Deere riding tractor, an S240 for mowing your grass.
Yeah, you should take that. That's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, and I also have a snow blower.
It snows there?
Yes, it does. They told me 2 inches. I'm from Minnesota, and they lied.
It's more or less.
It's less. It's less. You'll get snow flurries here and there, but the day that we moved in was October. Well, I bought the house on October 10th of 20. We moved in November 10th of 20. And the next month, January, we got 16 inches of snow in my front yard.
That's crazy.
And everybody came screaming, going, "You brought that shit with you?" But then I went outside with my snowblower and I did everybody's driveways, and I built the front of the house has got a ramp on it that I built, and it has. So I went outside with my snowblower and my winter gear from Minnesota, ran the snowblower, and they all came out going, "What the hell is that noise?" Because when you run a snowblower, it goes, and it slows down again, and it slows down again. Yeah, they couldn't figure what that noise was. They're used to chainsaws and weed whackers, and I also have a Viper in my garage, which is not a car. Don't get excited. It's a front end weed whacker that's on wheels. and a lawnmower. Don't get excited. You have no idea how many weird people say I got a Viper in my garage.
This woman is.
Let's see. No, that's not that one. You dumb shit. You got a freaking Viper in my garage.
Unmatched.
Yeah, they get weird.
Oh man, Deborah, you crack me up.
That's part of my job in life, to be weird.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be here, so I can do it. I've done way too much living to not be funny. I have a statue of this little old lady. Do you remember old pictures of Carol Burnett on the Carol Burnett show ever?
I do. I'm 40.
Oh, you could remember it. Yeah, you could.
I have a very good memory. I'm sorry.
Okay, but she has this old lady, frumpy washerwoman type thing. Well, this is kind of like, I have a statue similar to her, but this is like an old fairy with wings on her back and everything, and she's holding a bag of marbles in her hand. The bag of marbles has a hole in it, And so you could see them where they've fallen down onto the floor and onto her foot, things like that. And the sign in front of it says, "I think I'm losing my marbles." They gave that to me in the hospital when I saved that guy's life.
All right, Deborah, I got a serious question, okay?
Yes. What?
So the next thing that I have to ask you so I can send you paperwork is what's your email? But I have your email, but I'm curious as to why your email is zookeeper.
Zookeeper is because when Mike and I lived in Texas, we used to do animal rescue. We would have dogs and kittens that nobody wanted, or they were too bombs, weren't able to take care of their babies fast enough, or they were just plain old and they were going to die. And so instead of them dying in the pound or at the vet, they would die here in our home, and then they would be cremated. They would die in our arms, knowing that they're loved. That was the reason we did that. I did that.
Man.
And yes, my heart cried a lot, but because I have them all cremated and all on a shelf in my living room, along with my husband who's on the shelf.
Holy shit! How many urns do you have?
Well, my Great Dane is the biggest one, and he weighs 22 pounds. He was 214 pounds when he died. 1, 2, 3, 4, probably a dozen.
A dozen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or maybe a little more. But, that doesn't count the fact that there are 3 kittens in one. I also saved 2 dogs that had parvo. Without giving parvo to 2 Great Danes and 2 other big dogs. My Great Dane was so big when he stood up on his hind legs and put his paws on Mike's shoulders, they would look at each other eye to eye.
Yeah, but you said you're a baby. You're 5'2".
I know. I came up to his armpits.
Yeah. All right, so Deborah, this is what I'm gonna do.
I always dated. For some reason, I always dated taller men. I don't know why. And then he was great when you took him to the grocery store because he'd always reach everything. But then when he started getting bad and not able to get around as well, then it was like, oh shit. That means I'd go to the Coke department and get a couple of flats and bring them with me, and I'd wander around the store. Or just bring in your own damn step ladder, which I did. I'd take my own step ladder to Walmart. And they'd say, why do you do that? I said, because I can never find somebody to help me. And if we do find them, they'll go, well, I'm busy. That's like, well, kiss my freaking ass. Okay. So if they're not going to help me, I'll just do it myself. But then what if you fall off there? I said, then it's your freaking fault. Ha-ha. But trust me, I ain't falling down to break nothing just so you can have me pick on you. Because I'm the one that has to suffer in the long run. I break something falling off this damn ladder. No. There ain't no way.
I've heard a lot of things. I've never heard of someone taking their own step ladder to Walmart.
I take it there. I take it to the Dollar General store, to the General Dollar, or whatever the hell, the Family Dollar, or what. Anyway, there's a couple of them out there. You can't find a dead cat without finding them in this town, too. There's like 7 Dollar Tree stores, and then there's the Dollar General, and they've got like 8 of them, and yeah. Well, I take my own step ladder with them, or a step stool. It's just one of these things. You pop it up, and you've got a couple of steps.
Right.
Take it with me. I just got tired of looking for people to help me. Or walking up to a total stranger saying, can I borrow you for a moment? And they'll go look at me like, what? Well, there's up on this top rack, and they'll either say yes or they'll say fuck off. And yeah, they're not always that nice. And so but if they don't, or if I walk up, or if they see me pulling Coke out, most of the problem I have is getting Diet Coke out of the top rack on the skids. So if I just pull a couple of packs out of cans, stand them up on top of each other, and I just stand on that and bring them out. Find a way to get it done. Then they get pissed when you do that. I said, well, then you get somebody to help out you, for Christ's sake.
All right, Deborah. You ready?
All right.
let's do this. I'm going to send you over a contract. I did the math. I believe you owe somewhere in the range of $78,273. Does that sound accurate?
I have no idea. I could call my bank and find out.
All right, we're going to do that at a later date. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to send you a contract. I'm going to send you a contract for $78,273. But on the contract, I'm going to make it contingent upon we're actually buying the property subject to your existing mortgage. Meaning we're just going to take it over and we're going to make the payments. And then you're going to go to LA and you're going to live with your dude out there. And then when I go to LA, me and you are going to go get high as shit and eat some White Castle.
You're going to have to buy the shit because I don't know where to get it. I've
Yeah.
never had any.
All
I
right.
used to date a guy who was a runner for Mesh Pressure and Spence. He's a lawyer in Minnesota. And Mesh Pressure was really into the getting high thing back then.
Yeah.
And so Jerry was the runner for him to deliver his stashes to everybody.
You ever smoke a cigarette before?
No,
Never?
never.
Man, that's crazy.
Why the hell do you think I'm so healthy?
Wow. Oh. I just thought at some point in time you would have smoked like one.
Nope.
That's
He
crazy.
smoked pot. He got high, and then we fuck on the floor. Excuse me. Was that out loud? Oh, damn. But that was out loud, wasn't it? Oh, shit.
Oh,
Okay.
man. You cracked me up.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to send that.
Honey, half my mind is missing, and the other half is out looking for it. What do you want?
Yeah, it's all right. So I'm going to send that contract over to your email there. It'll probably be in your email box here in the next 15, 20 minutes. And then
I have to go to the library to print it.
you don't have to print it. You can literally sign it right there on the email. You just literally click the buttons. You don't have to go.
Shit. It's just insane.
Yep. Welcome to
I gotta find a way to get rid of
2025.
this RV. So if that's the case, is it okay if I leave the RV here for a little while until I can find somebody to take it?
I mean, you can give it to me if you want to.
It needs a new roof.
All right, I don't want it. Yeah, you can
The
leave.
wind has torn it off with the wind down here.
How long you gonna leave it?
I don't know. I have not a clue at this point. I'm just trying to work it out. And it has a full tank of gas, and it runs on gas, not diesel. 39 feet. Sleeps 10.
I cannot. I don't do anything with that. I gotta just take your house. I can't take the RV too.
Okay, that's fine. I'll find some way to get rid of it.
Put it on Craigslist or something.
That'll work. Actually, I hadn't thought about Craigslist.
Yeah, do that. All right, Deborah, I'm gonna send that over to you. And once you sign that, then we'll schedule. We'll probably need to come out, do a walkthrough. We'll open up title and do all the stuff, but we'll get you taken care of in the next couple of weeks. Okay?
And is there anything you want me to leave in this house?
I'll let you know when we come look at it.
I mean, I'll leave the refrigerator, but I love this refrigerator. Except the only problem is, ever since day one, the ice maker has never worked. I've had them take it out 4 times and replace it. And because it's a Samsung, it has a 10-year warranty on everything. But this ice maker, it's a manufacturing flaw.
I don't care.
How they built, it's how they created it. It doesn't work. It freezes up in the back of the ice maker so that it doesn't make ice.
No ice maker. We're good.
No. I can leave you my ice trays. I went a couple of weeks ago and bought ice trays.
Oh, we're good.
I'm making my own freaking ice. Whatever.
I love it. All right, Deborah. Well, I'm going to get that sent over to you. And once you get it,
Jay what?
RJ,
RJ. What's it called? RJ.
Robert John. Robert John Bates the third.
Robert John Bates the third?
Bates the third. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Bates.
Yeah, like Bates Motel.
As in fishing bait.
No, like Norman Bates.
Oh, God. That Norman Bates?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep.
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I don't like scary movies.
It's all right. I'm not crazy like him.
It make me want to wet my pants.
Don't do that.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. That's so losing my freaking mind.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get that sent over to you. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, Deborah.
Okay, and you with what company are we?
What company am I with?
Yeah, you with a company?
I own the company. My company is Titanium Investments.
Titanium Investments. Oh, okay. I'll tell my friend. Titanium Investments.
Wait, does your friend have a house they want to sell?
Well, he just sold one in LA.
All right. Well, let me know if he has any other ones. Let's get this one done first, though.
This one he just bought, and he said, what? He just said he spent $700,000 for it.
Jeez, you're gonna go have some fun in LA.
I don't know. I've never been to LA, so it should be interesting.
You'll love it.
I've never been to New York. He travels a lot, all over the country and all over the globe. So he travels a lot, so I'll be home a lot by myself, maybe.
All right.
Travel with him, which would be fun.
Well, let's get you out there. All right, Deborah. I appreciate you.
Tell me the numbers again.
I'm just taking over the mortgage. So I put down 78,273 because I believe that's what you owe on it. But we'll figure it out. We'll get a payoff from your mortgage company. Yeah.
From my mortgage company.
Yeah.
Which is Penny Mac, by the way, in California.
Awesome.
Which is Penny Mac.
Yes, ma'am.
And, they've been good to me.
I love it.
They have been good because they're the ones that said, I told them, I said, I do not want to refinance this mortgage. So please don't add that into it. And that's when she said, well, let's just do this. So then she set that up. And that's why this first mortgage is sitting here. It's still at 2.78%.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll do a deal. I'll make a deal with somebody who's willing to make a deal and live up to their end of it.
Well, there you go.
If you don't, I'll chase you with my gun.
I hear you. Let's do it, Deborah.
He drives a motorcycle, so we'll be chasing your ass down.
All right. Well, Deborah, I appreciate you. I'm going to get this sent out. I got to get on the next call, okay?
All right. You have a right. Good luck.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good luck with your next phone call.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to have as much fun with that one as this one?
Never, Deborah. You're number one.
You got my number.
I do. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whew. Man. This live has been a straight banger. Holy shit. Deborah was crazy. We got the sub 2. Man. 2.7% interest. See what we can do with that. All right. Oh, brother. Deborah is signing. Deborah is the one that pitched us up to. Someone just take over this 2.7% interest. She want to get out there with that boyfriend. Oh man, I feel like I should just stop because it's just so good. We'll try one more. Oh, but when she answered the phone, I was about to yell, y'all. So, you know how I always get the comments about how I must get special leads? Guys, these are literally the bottom of the barrel, unbought, worst leads that exist. Like, these are $30 leads. $30. Nationwide, there's no other fees, nothing. $30 on property leads. I've spoken to 5 sellers, 4 contracts. That is an 80% close rate in an hour and 45 minutes. And the one that I spoke to was in Vermont, and he just had a buyer walk the property, like literally as I called him. Not anymore. It's 30. Deborah was Oklahoma. So we have done Oklahoma, Texas, South Dakota, and Michigan. On that call, I use Privy and PropStream for comping. Hey, is Danny there? Hey, Danny, this is RJ Bates. Just calling you about your property there on Redwood Street. Looked like you had filled out a form saying that you were interested in selling that property. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. If the price is all right.
Awesome. What's the right price?
100,000.
100,000. Well, tell me a little bit about what you got going on there.
Well, we got 2 lots. And I'd added a room to it. 30 by 30, which I ended up with, I believe I got 1950, almost 2,000 square feet. A big master den, washroom inside. Just the shower didn't get quite fitted, but there's a big bathroom there, kitchen, dining area, 2-bedroom, very large. Some structure going outside on the fencing, which is concrete, but I didn't get to that. Other than the stucco on that your room didn't get put on, but that's about it. Other than that, it's got a new roof. And the plumbing and all that's good. Electricity's been upgraded. All the house. I think one time last year they go by the dwelling on this house. I don't know. I think that's how we figured out the 81,000. I'm just saying because I asked them. I think I asked them last year before that room was up, and he ended up with that. But I want to say that he went with the house, tax form. Is what I'm thinking. And now that I have this other room put up, I know I spent quite a bit of money on that thing, and I'm having some issues going back west or whatever for health problems with my mother, and I think me and the wife are just going to sell this place.
Gotcha. So how'd you come up with the price of 100,000?
Well, I come out with what I just spent, what I spent on that room and everything else, which the labor and all that come out to me and my sons, what it would have cost you to build that one room right there. And what I already got here, which they want to go by the dwelling, they said that because it's worth more than that. I'll throw up right off on the low ball that room just to get it built. And every bit of $40,000.
Okay.
On just that room, that 30 by 30. That's just $40,000 right there.
Gotcha.
getting taken, taking some of that girl in where you won't get. I know this house is there, but maybe it might be more than that. I'm giving $100,000 off, whatever, and give or take for somebody else. Finish it out, whatever. Make it. I bet you don't have $160,000 house easy. Easy.
All right. So I'm trying to look around. You got a bunch of kind of like newer builds around you.
Yes, mostly everything I've done. My son, I've slowed down because I had a heart attack, so I slowed down quite a bit. I got a lot of builds, a lot of upgrades on this house. Electrical is one of them. So we're upgrading on all the electrical, plumbing, all that good stuff. Even though the house been sitting, was built in 1951, I believe it was 51. I did the biggest upgrade on it here not too long ago. That room, that master room there. But other than electrical, we had an electrical bar, I think in 2000, I want to say 8. And I went in here and we upgraded everything. I kept on, I keep on. And to me, I'm like digging a hole. The more you dig, the further you go further down in there. And I'm thinking, we got to the point that I said, it doesn't matter how much money you spend in the home. Sometimes you'll never even get it. You never get back, get it all. Most of it. But,
Where are you trying to move to?
Arizona.
Gotcha. You got a place to stay out there?
Yeah, we got property, a good property home. And I got property back over there in Roswell, but I'm not going back that way. That's the property there. I got 60 acres back over there. But I'm talking about home-wise. It's just me and the wife now, so that'll take that.
Gotcha. Is that better?
And the reason I say that he hit me up, I can't remember who it was. This was last year, just before I built that room, that he ended up. And I said, if you're going off the dwelling, because I heard some of these ads or whatever is going on, just going on whatever. Well, I said, it would show learn about what what it's worth or appraise it or get moved by that, and then we ought to have go a different route of asking for money, right?
Okay. Is there anything that if I were to come in and as an investor, is there anything that that I would need to fix on the property?
Other than stuccoing that room, that new room, which is around the windows. What I'm saying, because this house got all new windows all the way around. That's another thing I didn't tell you. I put new windows in there. Before I built that room, I put all the new windows in this house, all brand new, all the way around. It's a brick home. That other part of the house, which that 30 by 30 that I put, I got some big windows too, which is a den, and it didn't get stucco. But it's it's papered and everything else ready for it. It's ready to get done and whatever. But like you said, to answer your question, no, somebody moved in here. We moved out, and somebody could move right back in. It's not, it's livable.
Cameron, you spoke to this guy in New Mexico?
Got 2 bathrooms, 2 toilets, showers, kitchen. It's a moving out and moving in deal. I don't think you'd have to. Luxury things is one thing, and the needing things is another. But I don't think it would need anything.
How long you been trying to sell the property?
I just barely started, actually. A matter of fact, not even a month ago. But I've thought about that.
Are you thinking about listing it on the MLS with the realtor?
Well, I really like to sell it and not have to do all that stuff, or have my sons have to go over that as needed, even and them do that. But I like to take care of business myself before I even get out of here. That's what I'd like to do.
I think if you're going to do that, you would have to come down on your price there, just for it to make sense for an investor. And those are going to be the people that would want to buy it off market, you know?
Right.
So how stuck are you on that $100,000 number?
Well, I haven't even thought about that, to be honest with you. And it all depends also how much we're talking about coming down on that 100,000.
I think that if the property were completely fixed up in comparison to some of the other properties that are listed right now, and also let me look at this one real quick.
Around here in close, I've seen some of that are listed, and even on the realtors. And to be honest, to tell you, they're trash. There's no comparison to my house. No, I've seen some little rinky-dinko houses over there. They want $75,000 for a little 2-bedroom house. And one, it don't have property to it. Two, it's not upgraded as my home is. So, yeah, you can ask $75,000 all day long if they have time in the world to hold for it, I guess.
Well, I'm looking at the properties that are like on the market right now for like 145, and they're upgraded, and some of them have been sitting for a while. So like some of them have been on the market for like 90, 120. I see one on the market for 180 days. Now there could be something wrong with those houses. But I'm looking at, if I were to come in, I want to do repairs to the property, and then try to resell for that value. I would assume I would probably want to put somewhere in the range of 15 to 20,000 into your property. Does that sound fair?
That sounds about fair, and I'm pretty sure you'll get your 100,000 and that.
You think I would get 200,000?
I guarantee you get at least 160.
But yeah, say I got 145,000 for the property.
Okay.
And I put 20 into it.
So we're looking at 160,
No, I'm saying 145. I get 145 when I sell it, and I put 20. So I'm 125, and I gave you 100. But then I have to pay realtors, and I got to pay the utilities and the holding costs and the closing costs and all of that. I don't make any money. That's all I'm saying. I need you to have some wiggle in your worm off of that 100 in order for me to make money. Otherwise, I'm not investing. I'm just spending.
Right.
So if I'm at 145 and I put 20 into it,
165. That's I believe you get it. Now, I don't know if you're going to ask for 200,000.
I don't see any. The only houses that are selling for 200 are the like 200 plus are the ones that are new builds, like the newer builds.
5 years old, 10 years old.
Right.
Right. And how much are down are we talking about here from that 100,000? That's what we're talking about here on your site.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I got it because it's just math for me. So I've got to figure out what could I sell this for. I mean, there's one that's listed for 160 right now. But most of the houses that have sold are selling in the 145 range. I don't really see many that have sold in the 165 range.
Right.
So for me, I have to say I can sell it for 145. I put 20 into it. I got holding costs, closing costs. And then in order for me to make profit on this, I'd probably want this somewhere between 65 to 75.
Right. So that'd be 65, 60, 65,000 for yourself. You giving me the 100,000.
No, I'm saying I would want to buy it from you for like 65 to 75,000.
Oh, no, I couldn't sell it for. I couldn't sell it less than not even 81,000.
You could sell it less than what?
I couldn't sell it. Not even for 81,000.
Oh, why? Do you owe that on it?
Oh no. I'll wait less than that. This some bucks is about paid off right now. If I owe,
So where's the $81,000 number coming from?
because the dwelling, or what they call it, what's that guy to come out? I can't remember what he said. The dwelling on this thing, this property value on this thing, they said it's $81,000.
Oh, the tax assessor?
Yes, no, they came in here for the when that electrical crap that had an electrical fire, and I upgraded all the electrical.
Did you ask him to write you a check?
No, I didn't. I went up for self.
Well, because he ain't writing the check. That's why he's willing to say that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just math to me. I mean, if I'm going to put 20,000 into the house to get it up to 145, and then I'm going to have closing costs when I buy it from you, and then when I sell it on the market, I'm going to have closing costs, and then the realtors are going to I have to pay for that, and then I have to pay for the property taxes for however long I own it, and I got to pay the electric bill and the water bill and whatever else bills, insurance while I own it. And then at some point in time, I got kids. You got kids?
Well, they're all gone now.
But you know how much kids eat, we got to make money to feed them. That's why I'm looking at it and I'm going, the 81,000, if I were to do the 81,000, that's if everything goes perfect. Nothing goes wrong. And I hit my numbers precisely. I make $16,000.
Okay, and you're saying you'd pay the house off whatever's owing, and give me anywhere in your range from $45,000 to $65,000.
No, I'm saying I will give you somewhere in the range of $65,000 to $75,000. How much do you owe on the house?
Not right off, man. A rough estimate. 20 maybe.
So if I give you 70 and you owe 20, you would get 50.
Okay, just lost all. I spent more money just about pretty close more on that room than what it was. So I doubt that. I couldn't do that. That room's brand new. 30 by 30, brand new room, roof and all, the whole deal, and $50,000.
So if you were to go list this on the MLS with the realtor and you sell it for $100,000, you would probably walk away with, because they're going to hit you for inspection items somewhere in the range of 90. So you would walk away netting about 70 if you get the 100,000 on the market.
Right.
So the difference between on market and off market nets you about $20,000 difference.
Right. That's what we pay off. I think that's what I owe on the house, maybe, if that.
Right.
Probably that. But to end up with $50,000 in my pocket after done deal that up.
But if you sell it with a realtor, you walk away with like 70 in your pocket. But that's if you get 100 and the inspection items, whatever they ding you for, ranges in somewhere in the $1,500 to $2,000 range, which is pretty typical.
Right.
So it's about a $20,000 increase. But my fear is like when I look around just the neighborhood inside of a quarter mile, you know, you're looking at 80, 85, 185 days. And then on the market right now, the houses that are listed have been on the market for 179, 76, 66, 53, 69, and 941 days.
Right. They've been out there. I've seen some of them out there for a while. Not
Yeah.
so much stuff. Actually, but you know, like I seen this place here, where he turned around and said, "Oh, I seen on, I believe it was on TV, on the phone, whatever it was," and he said he'd buy it. Okay, well, to see what is it there to be offered, or how.
I mean, how much money do you need to move?
Oh, to move, like I said, it's not very much.
Well, I'm saying, how much money did you actually need? What was the dollar amount that you needed from this transaction?
Like I said, I didn't want to leave it behind and still, you know, just worry about this property. But that's, I definitely, by God, at this point, probably 90.
How much?
90,000.
90,000 in your pocket?
Well, to get rid of everything else and pay off whatever I had to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm saying the mortgage is 20,000. So you would
Right. That would only end up with 70.
Right.
65 maybe by the time it was said and done. You know, we'll just say 65.
But see, if I do this at 90, blue sky scenario, I make $7,000. It doesn't work there.
Yeah, not for you, huh?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go sell it with a realtor and you go through the showings and all that, I think you could net that for sure. And then the 90 would, you know, then you'd have to pay out the mortgage for 20 and you get 70.
Right.
But I guess walk me through this again. Cause when I asked you how much you need, you said, I really just don't want to leave the house behind.
Yeah. And you know, it's not, I'm losing whatever it is. I can turn around and keep on paying whatever and have probably one of the kids or somebody else or rent it or whatever has to be done. I'd just rather just get rid of it and not to have that burden on my shoulder.
But the dollar amount does matter to you because when I say I would do it right now, you say, well, I can't do that.
Well, you're going to, like I said, it's going to be from 45 to 65.
No. Well, that's in your pocket.
You know, 65, and then or you're going to say 65, and then, you know, the 20 will be $85,000.
I'm telling you, I could do this for $65,000 to $75,000 cash, and then the mortgage comes out of that. So yes, you would be somewhere in the range of $45,000 to $50,000 in your pocket.
Right.
But that's not enough for you, right?
No. Like I said, I spent, even though I shouldn't have spent that room there, put that room there, but you know, $45,000 in my pocket. I don't know, probably 65 would be about in my pocket. It'd be okay.
Again, that's 85,000. I mean, that gets me up to 12,000. I mean, it's just that's if everything goes perfect.
Right.
I can't assume that. I mean, I have to look at it more realistic.
We're talking numbers here. Right. Yes, sir.
I mean, if there was an area where I could go see that maybe the value could be worth more than 145, I mean, that would really help it, but I don't see anything.
Right.
I mean, that's where it all starts is what is the house worth once it's fixed up?
I couldn't do that. I couldn't tell you once it's all everything done. I don't know. Like I said, like you said, and I'm saying where it sits at, where it's at, the value, and how everything comes in the market and everything else. You know, you definitely have to do some good research.
How many bedrooms and bathrooms do you have?
2 bedrooms and 2 baths.
I mean, there's a property that sold for 167, but it had 4 bedrooms.
Right.
Is there any way to convert anything inside of your house to an extra bedroom?
Oh yeah, two more bedrooms.
Would it be a weird layout, or could we actually do it?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be very weird. I don't think. That one room back off over there, instead of having that big old den there, could have been cut off right there for 2 rooms. It'd be a 4-bedroom. And the 2 bath on one side of the east side of the house and the other one on the west side house. If it came to for bigger family, bigger bedrooms, or so what, or.
So let me ask you this. You said you've been trying to sell this for a month. I mean, where are the other offers been coming in?
Well, I've got all this here, which I'm writing down too, what you got me here too. And I still got, in fact, I thought you were that one person that called me right back because we got hung up. But right now, that's all I'm doing. I haven't even, like I said, there's up and down, going down or up. And I'll tell you right now, the 2 that have already been there, you're probably the one. You're in the middle.
Well, that's where I want to be.
But
I mean, I'll tell you this: if you accept the lowest, I mean, you probably just got someone that just threw something out there. If you accept the highest, there's probably a large chance that they're not going to close.
exactly. And so far, I'm seeing you just by looking at numbers. You're probably the one in the middle. And
Well, I mean, how long do you want to keep talking to people before you guys start coming to grips with where you are?
probably, if I had, probably to the end of this month.
Yeah.
We're here in May. And then I'm going to make a decision of what I'm going to do and go from there, to be honest, because I'm not going to mess very much of the situation, but,
Let's do this then. Why don't I just follow up with you at the end of the month and see where you're sitting?
You said your name was
My name is RJ Bates.
Bates?
Like Bates Motel. Bates.
Oh, Bates.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have you there on right in the middle. Number 2. But I don't know, if I still went your route, I'd have to have just 65 in my pocket. And the 20 back off over there, and that's still losing quite a bit there.
You're just looking at it as you're losing from the rehab you did with the addition, right?
Exactly.
You're recouping your money. Why are you looking at it as if like it's a loss?
Probably because all the work I put in there myself, a bunch of it, what it costs, everything costs money. But maybe that's why. I'm looking at it that route.
I got you. It makes sense. I hate that situation because I talk to so many people and it's like I get where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, it's what is the property worth once it's fixed up, and what do we have to do to achieve that? So don't let what you've done get in the way of like, hey, this could be a deal or not a deal. I mean, realistically, if money is the most important thing to you, then you should list it with a realtor because you're going to get the most money that way. Yeah, you have to pay commissions and closing costs and inspections and all that. But that's where you're going to net the most amount of money always.
True. It's just going to take some time and effort, because, and I do have the time, but I just, like I said, if I did leave, I didn't want to come back to keep on just go over, stuff like that. I was just, like I said, that's why I decided to check it out, see what's out there and feel literally, this way or the other way.
I got you, man. Well, I'll follow up with you here and in the end of the month, see where you are. Hopefully you've already got it sold at that point. If not, we can have a conversation and see what we can do, okay?
That'll be fine, Artie.
All right, Danny, I appreciate you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye. What was that? 30-minute conversation. It was a little lengthy. Although I actually thought we stood a chance there upon explaining the range of the offer. That was a good conversation there of highly motivated but wrong price. I don't know if the motivation was strong enough for him to really sell for the price that I needed it at. I mean, realistically, I think he should list with the realtor. I think that's where he probably mentally needs to get that money. Kathina, I saw your comments there. He never really fully explained it. I think it's just mentally overcoming the fact that he did work on the property and he put $40,000 into it and then did the labor. And he's like, I'm going to be walking away with basically a little bit more than what I put into it. He feels like it should be worth so much more. It's kind of tough because there are higher comps, but there's always a reason why the property is sold for more than what our subject property was, whether it's 4 bedrooms instead of the 2 or the year built significantly higher. So I felt very confident in a conservative ARV of 145 there. It's tough. So, man, hope you guys enjoyed today's live. I feel like this has been one of the best lives I've ever had. Four contracts. It's crazy. South Dakota. Danny's going to get that dispoed. He thinks we can move it at 110, 115. We got it for 95. We got a Michigan. We got a Texas. And then we got a sub 2 in Oklahoma. I'm not sure what I'll do on the sub 2 in Oklahoma there. And then 2 other conversations. So 4 out of 6, not bad. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you like the video for me. Will this be posted? Absolutely. What did I run my comps on? In today's episode, I used Privy and PropStream throughout. This was the showcase for PropertyLeads new $30 nationwide leads. I can't say enough good things about what PropStream or PropertyLeads brought to the table today. 4 out of 6. The connection rate was fantastic. I was blown away by this. So great job, PropertyLeads. Thank you for listening to the customers and bringing the value with the nationwide discounted leads now at $30. If you guys haven't checked them out, go to propertyleads.com/RJ. Appreciate you guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow.